Hey, Matt from MT. Okay, this is a quick overview of the project logging options screens, which are the four below the manager itself. We covered the manager a little bit in the overview video. Obviously, that's where you spend most of your time on a day-to-day basis working with existing project logs, dealing with new ones that come in, etc. Um, this video is about the other four options and what they're used for. These are all settings options. You would normally only tweak them when something changes and needs configuring and then not worry about them again afterwards until something else came along that needed tweaking. I will cover them in brief detail, just enough to let you know what they're for and how they work. The first option is Project Log Products. This is the screen where you edit the list of products that is available when someone is raising a new log. So if I pop to the front end and click New Log, you'll see about 2/3 of the way down the page there is a list of products here from the to-go system to Totem. Well, that's coming from this screen here. So if you needed to edit their names, add a new one through this button at the top, or delete them because they're no longer available, you would do it on this screen. One interesting feature on this screen is you can actually set some email addresses who will be notified when that particular product is put onto a new log. So for instance, if we look at this one here, the Juno system, this is currently configured so that Mark Jowett is notified when that is ticked. So if I were to tick this and progress this log to the point where it's sent into the system, Mark would get an email automatically to tell him that had happened with a link back to the log itself so he can see that that product has been added to a log and deal with it as needed. The next one is much more straightforward. It's simply the project log sources. This is really just for tracking leads. You can add new ones up here, delete, edit, etc. And the only time these come into play is if an internal log is being raised. You get to pick the source optionally at the top of the log, and then that's visible later on in the log manager. Countries is a bit more important. This is to do with international project logging. So this is to do with the fact that although Sahara AV was strictly focused on the UK market, you've now got the ability for people to create accounts on the partner portal, the Clevertouch partner portal, and their emphasis might be on totally different countries, nothing to do with SAP, nothing to do with the UK, and configuring some settings for that. So if we to scroll all the way down, the ticks, by the way, means these countries are available when raising an address on a new project. Down the bottom here, we've got slightly more information set up for the United States. The default internal and the default external. Now, this is because if you raise a log in the UK, we have SAP to check to see who the internal and external of that reseller are. So for instance, if 21st Century AV raise a new log, we know on SAP what their settings are for internal, external, and those are mirrored on that project log. We don't have that information for the US. We don't have a US SAP to go and consult. So the way we get around that is we set up defaults, a default internal account manager and a default external account manager, which is what you can see here. And this means that any log raised for the USA through this system will get those as the starting internal and external account managers. And you can set those up as different for any country. So at the moment, you'll see only the US has them. But let's say you wanted to go into Australia, you would pick the defaults, save. And that, although you would be notified, they would be the active internal and external on any logs raised there. Um, the country is also important in the if you go to the project log manager and you're an international project log manager, I think that's right, the you can get to pick a country here and see all the logs from that country. So if I go all the way down, actually it's at the top, isn't it, for speed? If I pick the USA and click search, you'll see that I get all of the logs for the states, and these are the ones that would have had their defaults set accordingly. This blue box is the system that's being replaced. It is there was a thing called the Clevertouch projects, which was a sort of an attempt to have a non-Sahara branded version of project logging. This has been replaced by Clevertouch tools, but for reference, we're still bringing up logs from that system just to be consulted here. Once they've been dealt with, I'm probably going to wind this down in a few months so that that no longer is cluttering up any searches. Right, the last option on the screen is the loan form content. So A loan form is if a project log has been accepted, you can apply for demo equipment to do a demo, and obviously that's a loan. The form looks like this and lets you pick which products you would like to have loaned, what insurance value you should have on them, etc. At the moment, a few of these options are turned off, so that form is simpler than it can be. But this page lets you pick what products are available to loan, what banners, what literature, and what merchandise. That's because it also doubles up as a show loan form as well, which, yeah, is a form that I think we may be replacing at some point, but it's currently available if you know the URL. Okay, that's all the settings and options under Project Log, so hope that was useful. Thanks, bye.